Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Harveyanum is at it again. Now, although this is a Dendrobium, it doesn't get a rest, strictly speaking, not in any shape or form. It's also in a pot. So as this section really finishes off the potted plants that live on the shelves, and I haven't done Masdevallias and Restrepias, but the Restrepias that I've got are all staying. Most of the Masdevallias I've got are staying, with a couple of exceptions that are probably just going to die, quite honestly. They don't do so well in here. It's not that suitable for them. But yeah, Harveyanum's just opening again. Lovely little blooms on this. Sort of hairy lip, and the other two petals are hairy as well. It's a lovely yellow, and yeah, I mean, it's just literally this morning these buds have just started to open. They will do more than that. But yeah, this is it's basically the last section of potted plants on shelves. There are a few others that I haven't done yet, and there's mounted plants still to do. So there will be another part to this, but sometime very soon now I'm hoping to set up all my species Dendrobiums that need their winter rest, so that may interrupt the process. But let's get on with this part then and see where we go from there. Okay, we're onto this top shelf now. This is where my better Cattleyas live. Everything on this shelf effectively gets to stay, but as I'm now realising this is a sort of start of year update as well as a rationalisation thing, it is still worth going over these. There's quite an assortment. This huge thing here, this has been in a state of rescue for many years, but I don't want to lose it. It has beautiful blooms. The last new growth it grew put up that enormous sheath. There's still no sign of buds in there, but it's taken. The last time it got repotted has finally been successful, in as much as it now has a reasonable root system. Okay, it's only up the front of the plant. There is one root right up the back there. Who knows, maybe that'll trigger a dormant eye up the back there somewhere. But at the moment it's got a good lead on it. It has got an eye that may push out given the longer day length and everything. So that one is Beauty Girl, and it's a BLC, Brassolaelio Cattleya. Well, it was last time I looked anyway. So that's that monster. I'll leave that there for a minute. I'll just pick these up. I can't put them all back. They're two-handed jobs. Mainly because they're top heavy. Now this is just a no ID Cattleya, but it's a good one. Yeah, I mean, it's a good plant. It's got good roots. Latest new growth there has got a sheath. There's no sign of buds in there at the moment. There's another sheath back there on that. So, you know, two leads, good plant. Love it. Nice clean leaves on it. It's a good one. That one gets to stay despite having no ID. Yeah. Put that down there. And this little one, this gets to stay from a curiosity point of view. I've forgotten what the hell the blooms are supposed to look like on this. This is Little Mermaid. It's a Brassolaelio, and it's a named clone, Janet, which was awarded. So in theory it's got good blooms, but I've yet to see them. Nonetheless, given that there's a lot of moss in that pot, on that subject I'm hoping to get some really good, what I would call perfect Cattleya pots. Now at the moment this is only a theory and an idea because they're living in Ireland, and my good friend Rachel is hoping to have a gardening meeting at the garden centre where these pots live, and some have been put aside. The company in question will not post outside of Ireland, so I can't get them myself, but the idea is that when Rachel gets there she's going to actually get these pots for me, and then somehow or other we're going to get them across to me in the UK. And they are good pots. They're lovely shallow clay pots with lots of holes in. They're going to be perfect for my Cattleyas. And the idea is that all of my Cattleyas that I intend keeping will get transferred into those pots. Most of my Cattleyas haven't long been repotted, and they all went into the Orchiata bark, which lasts for years. You know, if you don't keep it wet, it's potentially a 4 or 5 year sort of repotting cycle that will actually produce. And as a consequence, all I'm going to do is sort of lift the cats out of their plastic pots gently, give them a little bit of a shake. I have no intentions of completely stripping the root balls. I'm just going to get all the loose stuff off, set them up in their clay pots and fill in the gaps with new bark. That's it. That's what they're going to get. So minimum disturbance. That's if I can get the pots. Now this is my one from Chantel. This is quite a popular one, BLC Young Min Orange. And it's got sheaths all over the place, and every single one of those sheaths has got buds in. Even that manky looking dead one has got buds in. I'm not going to squeeze them. I just don't do that. It's not worth the risk of damaging embryo buds on Cattleyas by squeezing the sheath to see if there's anything in there. If there's anything in there, you'll know soon enough. Just be patient. Good plant, going absolutely nowhere. Stay. We don't want any more falling over. We've had enough laughs on my part. And another good plant. This is an unnamed hybrid, but this is what I call your typical Cattleya. It's the big blousy magenta sort with the gold in the lip, and I'm looking forward to this one. That's a good set of buds in that sheath there, and there's a shadow in the bottom of that sheath, so we should have some blooms on that one soon. Again, it's when it was repotted, it didn't fail, it did push on, and it has pushed out some roots. And get that in that clay pot and get that set up, that can stay there for years and grow into a really nice big Cattleya. Good quality leaves on there, minimum damage, good plant. That's what a Cattleya should look like. You listening, you scruffy lot up the back there. And what else have we got here? Oh, this is another one that lots of people have got. Some people don't like it, but I do. This is the Avanagara apple blossom. Strange name, but I'll live with that. Now, this has only just made it. This didn't like being repotted, but the latest growth has pushed out roots. Yeah, so it has got a root system, albeit a little small. And the latest growth does have a sheath down in there. Yeah? So maybe we'll get some blooms later in the year. But that one gets to stay pure. Look at the state of that. I thought I'd really done with these things. I'll give that one a spray. Can have an individual spray. I'm not doing the whole greenhouse at the moment. But yeah, I've still got bugs about, but minimal. Yeah? That's the first plant I've come across that's got bugs on it. So I'll give that one a spray before I put it back up on the shelf. I'm using the individual stuff rather than mixing up the strong stuff. I mean, that is, in effect, roughly the same sort of thing as the stuff I use to spray the whole greenhouse. It's just not as strong. But it is a contact killer as well as systemic. So you guys are about to get some contact killer. You're going to really like that for breakfast, aren't you? Stick that down there. The only other one that lives up on that shelf is this one. Now this is a Maxillaria picta. Lovely blooms if it ever does. Bought as a young plant, pushed on 3 new growths in the last season. I haven't got a clue whether that's big enough to bloom or not because I don't know much about it. It's one of those I'll have to go and look up, won't I? Because again, that could need a lot more light than it's getting. It might not need as much. It might be being overlit. But anyway, so that's that top shelf. That's that little section done. That's quite a nice little plant. It's coming on. Yeah, typical Maxillaria sort of look to it. But yeah, good blooms when it does. That's that shelf done then. Okay, let's get this shelf done then. This is mainly plants, back bulb divisions and things like that. So this is not a group of really good plants or anything. It's just ones that I'm hoping to grow back again to get their strength. Now this is it's labelled as Maasai Red, but it isn't. It's a form of Maasai Red. I think it's called Splash or something because it has actually got some pale colouring on the lip, but I virtually lost this plant. It did have a new growth right in between those two manky looking back bulbs, and I thought, well, I will try and save it. But when it was a good plant, it had the most extensive, really thick root system that really filled a big pot. So although that looks ridiculously over potted, it is in preparation, but it really does need to go in a smaller pot. There are signs of new roots against that new growth, and that's the only part of the pot I water. The rest of the pot stays bone dry, and it's literally because the only roots I'm ever going to get are below that new growth. Now it's a reasonable new growth, but compared with what it used to look like, you know, it's just coming on. So let's get that out of the way. And then this is the rest of them. As you can see, these are recovering all back bulb divisions. Now these two are one and the same. When I split the plant up and repotted it, again, the main plant was dying, left in its pot too long, but the two new growths have both pushed out reasonable roots, so it is recovering. They will be okay. And this is an Alicera, unless the name's changed, Sunday Best Pink Skirt. So that's a pair of those. I will only keep one, there's no point in having two. But I'll do a pop-up of the bloom and you can see why I don't want to lose it. It is a very special flower, the most unusual colours. So that's those two. And then this one is one of my wildcats that for some reason keeled over, but didn't die. So I managed to save it, but it's in a bit of a poor state. It's only got one new growth. It's got a back bulb with a couple of leaves and another bare back bulb. But again, because of that new growth, it is going to push new roots out and it will recover. I don't like losing my wildcats there. That's one of my favourites. So the only other thing that lives up there is this Rawdon Jester, so Roseoglossum, was oncidium once upon, Odontoglossum once upon a time, but the name changes have been at it. Now this is sad, it's lost one of its new growths. It just keeled over, and that new growth has got leaves on, but it's not of good quality. And the other new growth round the back here is coming on. It's not too bad, but compared with what that plant looked like when I got it, it's gone downhill, and it's difficult to establish why, but boy has that been attacked by scale. Base of the pseudo bulbs, behind the sheaths, on the leaves, that's had a right set to. That's what all the marks and damage are all over it. So hopefully at least one or two of the new growths will pull on and it can get its strength back again. Beautiful blooms. So I don't really want to lose it, but that's nothing like the plant that I bought. It's gone downhill. You know, maybe I just can't keep this one very well. But anyway, that's that shelf. Let's get them all back again. Okay, down onto that bottom shelf. This is the last real section of potted plants. This is one of the ones, this is a Berryoda, one of the large plant that I split into three that was part of my giveaway. That's going to bloom soon. Yeah, I mean, reasonable plant, pushing out a good root system. That's its partner in crime. I've just had to take a kiki off of that, not because I don't want kikis on it, because it won't fit on the shelf. It pokes up through into the other pot. So that's those two. There it is there. I won't bother potting that. I've got enough of those. Let's do this one. This is Prosthetia Green Hornet, and this is not a bad plant. I'm quite pleased with this one's progress. The two latest growths have both got sheaths. No sign of buds yet, but they will bloom. So I will have new spikes on there soon. This one's bloomed several times for me. I'm quite pleased with that plant. That's a nice plant. We're running out of space here. I'm going to end up knocking stuff over. Still, at least you get a laugh. This is a good plant. Again, this is one of my wildcats. This is Bobcat, and it is one of my favourites. Now this is a good plant, you know, as oncidium types go. Got a nice new growth there, and previous growths, good sized bulbs, nice clean leaves, nice plant. Yeah, okay, very happy with that one. This one is struggling, not sure why, but the latest growth is okay with a sheath. There's a new growth there and a new growth there. Now this is an unusual one because this is a cross with the previous one, Prosthetia Green Hornet, not my efforts, obviously, I bought it, and it's crossed with an Cattleya that is, I'm going to pronounce this wrong and Rachel will tell me off because it's French. It's Miva Etoile Noire, or something like that. Read it for yourself. I'm not French. My schoolboy French is atrocious. But it's nowhere near as large or strong a plant as the original Green Hornet. But nonetheless, the version of the flowers, if I ever get it to bloom, which, I mean, I've got sheaths coming on the new growths, there is hope. But it's a really, really dark version of Green Hornet. Much, much deeper, richer purple. It's a smashing bloom if ever I see it, because I still haven't bloomed this one yet. But anyway, that's that shelf done, and that really is virtually all of the potted plants now. There's still a couple of pots that are hung up, if you know what I mean, but that's mainly the potted ones now. Most of the mounts I can do in one section that aren't Tolumnias or Dendrobium species, because the Dendrobium species are going to get set up for their rest soon. That's a separate video, so I can go over those all together when I set that up. And as I said, there's no point in filming all the Tolumnias, they're staying. So this is one of the last ones of the set, quite honestly. I'll go over some of the mounts, like I've said, they'll just make a video on their own, and any of the hanging pots like that one and those baskets up there and that one I can just include with the mounts. So yeah, I'll bring that section to a close then. And again, thanks for watching this set. Turned out to be twofold, not just a rationalisation program. Oh, by the way, all the ones I've just shown you are staying except the Berriodas. I deliberately have said in the past it's not my favourite plant, and even though it's fragrant and the blooms are quite nice, it's a lot of plant for such tiny little flowers, and it's a fair bit of space. So those two Berriodas are going, along with the Kikis I've got lying around. It's not one I want to keep. In fact, I think the only Kingianum type that I am likely to keep is the big beastie up there. Okay, so thanks for watching this set. There's still another one, maybe two to go, but I think I can do it all in one. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.